Okay, I'm now going to explain the global wind system. And there are 4 things that you need to know before you understand the global winds. First thing, number 1, wind is a movement of air from high pressure to low pressure. So an example of that would be when you get a puncture on your tyre. There's high pressure in the tyre. As soon as you slip the tyre, the wind gushes out. That's a movement of air from high to low pressure. The second thing you have to know that high pressure is caused by cold air falling. Cold air sinks, so it's cold air falling. The third thing you have to know is low pressure is caused by hot air rising. So if you ever looked at your stove, you'll actually see the heat rising up off the stove. So low pressure is hot air rising. And the third thing that you have to know is the Coriolis force. The Coriolis force. The Earth spinning on its axis causes the winds to be blown off their course. North of the equator, that's the northern hemisphere, the winds blow to the right. So in the northern hemisphere, they blow to the right. That's north of the equator. And in south of the equator, they blow to the left. So, we draw our globe. We put in the equator. This is 0 degrees, and it's the equator. We put in the North Pole, and that's 90 degrees. And the South Pole is 90 degrees south. Now, our intelligence will tell us that at the North Pole we have high pressure because it is so cold. So the pressure here is high. And the same at the South Pole, it is so cold. The pressure is high. The cold air is sinking. At the equator, we know it's extremely warm, so it will be low pressure. We then put in 30 degrees north and 60 degrees north, and the same 30 degrees south, 60 degrees south. Now, you do not need to know for the junior cert why the pressure is low here, why the pressure is high here. You don't need to know that. Basically what happens is the hot air rises here, it cools and it sinks back down, falls down here to create high pressure at 30 degrees north, and the same here, but you don't have to go into that level of detail. All you need to know is that that's low, that's high, that's low, and that's high. So little rhyme, high, low, high, sorry, I've got this wrong. I have this wrong. That's low, that's high. So that just goes to show you how careful you have to be when you're doing it. So high, low, high, low, high, low, high. Okay, we'll do it again. High, low at the equator, high, low, high. Now, we learned that wind is a movement of air from high pressure to low pressure, so we just put in our winds going from high to low, from high to low, from high to low, from high to low, from high to low. Very simple. Now, the Coriolis force does not happen at the poles. Does not happen at the pole, so the wind just stays the way it is. and that wind is the north polar wind. And the same down here. Coriolis force doesn't really happen down here. And winds are named after where they come from. That's coming up from the south, so that's the south polar. Now, we'll concentrate on the two winds north of the equator. We'll take this one here. So that's going that way, and it's blowing to the right. It's blowing over to the right. So it goes that way. So we can rub this out now, that guideline now. So there's our wind, and it's coming up from the southwest. So it's the southwest wind. This wind here is blowing to the right over this way, so it will go that way. Okay, we can rub out our guideline, and the direction it's coming from is the northeast. And it's a very fierce, strong wind blowing into the equator. And in the old days, the sailors used that fierce wind to help sail their ships, their trading ships. So it's known as the northeast trade. This one here now, we're going to the south of the equator, or two winds south of the equator. This one here is blowing to the left. That means it will go that way. It's coming up from the southeast, and it's the southeast trade. Again, it's a very strong wind blowing into the equator. This one here is blowing to the left, so it is blowing that way. Now, a few more things to do. Winds that are heading to the equator, winds that are heading towards the equator, are cold winds. They cool the areas that they blow over. Winds that are coming up from the direction of the equator, heading towards the direction of the pole, raise temperatures. They're warm winds. So the southwest wind is a warm wind. It raises the temperatures of the land that it blows over. Likewise, this wind here is blowing from the direction of the equator towards the poles. And it is a warm wind, and it raises the temperatures of the country that it's blowing over. The last thing that I have to do with you now is Ireland. Ireland is 53 degrees north. That's its latitude. And the prevailing wind over Ireland is the southwest wind. Prevailing means the wind that blows most often. So the southwest wind has a warming effect on Ireland's climate. Another country that you have looked at recently is Mali. Mali is here, and it's in the path of the northeast trade wind, and the northeast trade wind has a cooling effect on Mali's climate. So there you have it, the global wind system explained. Now, get down and learn it.